warm welcome to everyone. Today's topic is obesity from a holistic perspective. Obesity affects a great many people, and what I observe in my practice is that these individuals often try various diets. For a while, there is some temporary improvement, but following a very specific diet for a long time cannot be extended, so when they stop eating, the problem returns. And from this, one thing is absolutely certain. Changing your diet alone is simply not the complete solution to this problem. What is the main reason or the underlying explanation for why making changes to your diet alone cannot fully solve or significantly improve this particular health condition? Because we are not just a physical body. As I have said many times in other podcasts, from a holistic perspective, we know that a person has a physical body, an energetic body, an emotional body, and a mind. And actually, according to the yoga system, these subtle bodies, the energetic body, which is also called pranamaya kosha, and the emotional and mental body, which is called manamaya kosha, it is precisely there that various kinds of problems arise. So that's where we gather all the information from our environment. For example, in the case of obesity, a person collects different information about themselves from the very beginning of their life. I would even say from the prenatal period. And then these emotional reactions to that can sometimes be expressed or unexpressed or not understood. And all this information in the body, in the manamaya kosha, this mind body and the emotional body, accumulates there and creates certain programs, as I would call them, which then guide us. Those people who, for example, have this problem with obesity, they build a sense of self-worth or they don't build it. Various other things as well. In fact, that's the source of why this problem originally appears. And this affects the next body, which is the energetic body, the pranamaya kosha. So when these programs are such that they don't really serve us because we are more afraid, more self-conscious, we don't trust ourselves, we don't like ourselves, especially people who may have these kinds of programs, it's as if we're constantly swimming against the current of life with a bit of resistance. And these energies in the body become denser in this body, the prana maya kosha, and this starts to influence the metabolic process itself, the autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic and parasympathetic systems, which together create it. And we can say that the last place where this is expressed from what is in the physical body does not decide for itself. So just changing your diet, exercise, and so on. It may bring relief, it may help, or it may give us some results, but often if those deeper sources of the problem are not understood, if the emotions connected to them are not released, if the way we see ourselves remains unchanged, then very often we will experience the yo-yo effect. Better, worse. So this makes it even more. Deepens the problem, making me feel like there's something wrong with me. And so when we start to change our diet and begin this program, of course, there's the whole physical aspect. Tests, metabolism, lipid profile, checking for insulin resistance, and other hormonal or thyroid issues. Tests around lifestyle, what kind of corner, what kind of press, and so on, just like we do in our school. Our graduates who have completed the School of Conscious and Healthy Living and our holistic wellness coaches are really great at analyzing all of this, the entire lifestyle, to see how everything affects, for example, the digestive process, emotions, and so on. So it's all ongoing, of course. Metabolism is directed by the current lifestyle, but that's the first step. And the next thing is that here we advise on making a small change, something that's possible without being overwhelming, just to take that first step. And in the next meeting, the aspects that need to be addressed are the programs and emotions. When did this obesity first appear? Was this person overweight as a child? What happened then? What were the habits? And in what ways can we reach and release them? So these are subconscious issues, so various therapies that address subconscious release, like breathwork therapy, EFT, or the emotion code, and of course some psychological coaching as well. A mix of these therapies can help the person rediscover themselves, to see themselves in a new light, to start accepting and understanding where it all comes from. So while we work with these aspects, we also work with other treatments, such as, for example, I often see that people who regularly use, at the same time, foot reflexology, who go regularly for these massages, it also affects the entire metabolism along with the other therapies. If someone has a lot of tension, then sacroiliac therapy, osteopathy, and similar treatments can also support the body. And then as we build our sense of self-worth and free ourselves from broader patterns, we also feel encouraged. With a better diet, they find it easier to work, and they're more motivated to engage in physical activity for themselves. Above all, in short, you could say that they start to love themselves, and that's the foundation, who I am, what I am, but I can really change that because that's not truly me. What I've seen from the perspective of my whole life so far doesn't have to define me. And here I see that these people really begin to change without any burden. Not everyone has access to all these methods. Where we live, at our IMC center, we regularly run residential holistic detox programs. And here one element is nutrition and education. They eat specially prepared diets that are not only different but also very tasty. But in addition, we also address emotional and physical aspects through yoga, pranayama, and various other practices. When all of this is addressed simultaneously during their stay, I truly see that people begin to rediscover themselves. And this becomes a new foundation, new knowledge that will help encourage and guide them toward making that change. During such a stay, of course, our healthy lifestyle consultants work individually with each person, and this work can also be continued in the future, either with us or independently. Without this holistic approach, obesity can be a very burdensome condition for the individual, so it is worth approaching it differently, and I guarantee it, that you will truly feel much better, and even the journey toward changing yourself, whether in terms of weight or other aspects, will certainly be a very pleasant one. Thank you.